If you've been in this online business game for any period of time, you've probably heard the phrase, the money's in the list. Everybody says it. The money's in the list. The money's in the list. You need to be building your list. Why aren't you building your list? They make a big deal out of it. And nobody really explains why or how to do it. But it's true. I mean, straight up, the money is in the list. And if you are trying to prioritize the things that you're doing in your business, growing your email list doesn't need to be priority number one. But it should definitely be priority number 2 or 3, because the sooner you start growing your email list, the faster it's going to grow, the bigger it's going to get. And the version of yourself 5 years from now is going to be thanking you for starting today. Because when you're trying to sell anything, whether it's your services or a course, whatever it may be, the size of your list and the relationship you have with that email list is going to be the best resource you have to make money. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Howdy, it's Mike Yonda with the Laptop Empire Show, and today we are talking about email lists, and specifically, like, how do you build that list? We all know it's important. We know that we need to be growing email lists. You know, anytime I talk to other entrepreneurs, they always regret not having started their email list sooner, because they know when they're selling affiliate products, they're selling their freelance services, or they're selling courses, whatever it may be, the more people are on that list, the more money they're going to make. And it's like, dang, if I would have started this a year sooner, if I would have started this 5 years sooner, whatever it may be, they're like, where could I be? Where could I be right now if I'd focused on this earlier? But the big issue that a lot of us run into is you don't know where to start. Like, how do you start growing your email list? What does it take? And generally what people do is you've seen this, you go onto their blog, website, whatever. And it's like, if you'd like to be part of my newsletter, please enter your email. And that's just horrible. It's just not a good way to get people onto your list. You want to give them a reason to join beyond just your newsletter. Because when you say, hey, just enter your email and you can join my newsletter, what you're basically saying is, how about you give me your email so I can put stuff in your inbox? And you don't know if it's going to be valuable. You don't know if it's going to help you. You haven't earned that trust yet. And yeah, some people will do it and it'll grow, but it's going to grow way slower than it could have. So what you really need is you need a lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? A lead magnet is simply a piece of content that you're using to generate leads. It's the magnet, so to speak, that get people from consuming your content to joining your email list, to giving up that email. It's your value proposition. Lead magnets are called all kinds of different things: content upgrades, freebies, ebooks. You know, it can be a video guide, a course, like it can be all kinds of things. But the basic concept is it's a more in-depth piece of content that you're giving the person in exchange for their email and them joining your list. And then that value is kind of what earns the right to have a shot at delivering emails to their inbox. But then you got to keep bringing it. You got to keep providing great value and useful information to their email list for them to stay. Because every email that you send, required by law, has to have an unsubscribe button. And you don't have to worry about that too much, because no matter what you're using, if you use ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, Aweber, MailChimp, whatever it is that you use to send emails, they're automatically going to put that in there. But people are going to unsubscribe if you don't make it worthwhile, right? Or they're just going to let you fall into inbox purgatory where they never delete your email. And you see that screenshot of somebody's phone that says 5,672 unread messages, and you're a bunch of them. And you don't want that. So you need to make sure that you're creating a good piece of content to get them on the list, and then obviously doing your work and providing a good, entertaining, valuable experience that they want to open the email for. So now that you kind of know what a lead magnet is, you're probably thinking, well, how do I know what to put in it? Like, what should it be? And you really need to start with the end in mind, okay? You need to either know what is the big picture theme, the big picture thing that I'm going to be talking about, or what is it that I'm trying to sell? And you need to reverse engineer it. You need to work backwards, okay? So to give you a good example of this, I'm going to be launching MikeYonda.com at some point in 2019. And I had to really think about, what do I want to talk about on that site? What's it going to be about? What's the theme going to be? And This type of stuff, like talking about list building, paid traffic, creating courses, those are the things that I'm known for in the industry, the things I do really well. That's what I'm going to talk about. So I needed to figure that out, because then I knew what I was going to talk about in email. And in order to make sure that the people reading my emails found it was valuable, now I know that whatever my lead magnet is going to be, it needs to be about those topics. That way I don't give them one thing, then they get on there and they're like, why are you talking about stuff I don't care about? It needs to be stuff they care about. So you need to be thinking with the end in mind. And another way you can do that is if you know what it is that you're trying to sell, if you know what your flagship program is, you want to reverse engineer it from there. You want to make sure that the people that are getting onto your email list are going to be interested in that thing. What you don't want to do is just get people onto your email list and then try to convince them that they need to buy your thing or introduce them to the idea of whatever it is that you're selling. No, you want to get in front of the people that are already interested in whatever it is you do. Here's an example, right? One of our flagship courses at Laptop Empires is called Facebook Ads for Bloggers. And the idea is you can use Facebook ads to grow traffic for your blog. And because it's paid traffic, it's going to be a little bit more targeted. You know they're going to be interested in the material. You've got a little bit more control over the flow of it, like how much is coming in and the direction it goes and where you send them and where they bounce to and all of those things. We're big believers in it. But we want to make sure that we're putting that information in front of other bloggers. We don't want to put it in front of any random person, because then we have to add extra steps. First, we have to convince them to become a blogger. Then once we convince them to become a blogger, we have to convince them to spend money on paid advertising. We don't want to do that. Instead, we want to create a lead magnet that we can give to bloggers that either are using Facebook ads and want to know how to use them better, or maybe they're not using Facebook ads yet, but they're interested in getting more traffic, and we're presenting the Facebook ads as that solution. You want to put it in front of the people that are already interested and kind of heading in the direction of whatever your product may be. Now, what you put inside of your lead magnet, whether it's a PDF guide or some sort of checklist or it's a video training, I mean, there's all kinds of ways to do it. You just need to pick a platform. Like, what are you good at? Are you better at video? Are you better at writing? Like, what's going to be best for your audience? Once you figure that out, you've got to figure out, like, what is the actual content? What am I going to teach them? And since you have the end goal in mind and you know what it is, you want the content to lead them to that end goal. Right? So generally what you want to do is think about the problem that the audience has that your product solves, and then you want to start introducing them to your philosophy or your system for solving that problem. Some of my favorite lead magnets are just simple PDF guides or ebooks where you take the 4, 5, 6, 7 principles or steps that it takes to solve that problem, and you lay them out for the people. So every single page, every single headline is going to be one of those pillars or one of those steps, and you're just guiding them through the process. And so you write step 1 is this, right? Or core belief 1 is this. And then you explain what it is. You go into more detail and you explain what it is, why it's important, why you shouldn't be doing something else, what you shouldn't do, that sort of stuff. And that's really like everything that you're doing in a lead magnet. You should be telling them what to do, what not to do, why they should do it or why they shouldn't do it. But you shouldn't show them how to do it exactly. That's what your course does. You just want to give them that guide. So if you lay out your system for the problem you're solving and you say, here are the 5 steps to solve that problem. You have to do this, 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 and this. And then they read that content, they consume that content, watch that video, whatever it may be. At the end of it, they're going to be going, yes, this is exactly what I need. This makes sense. I need this system in my business. And your content should have enough information that, maybe they can go out and they need to do more research on how to do the thing, but they can figure it out and they can go implement it because they have a framework. So at the end, for your call to action, you say, if you want help implementing this system in your business, all you have to do is click the button below, and it's going to take you to our information page for such and such product, where you can learn how our course helps you to implement this in your business. We walk you through every step in great detail, tell you exactly what to do, so that way you don't have any guesswork. And then we'll be there along the way to support you the entire time. And you're using that click, that link, that button, that call to action to get them onto your sales page or whatever it may be. And it doesn't always have to be a sales page. Like another great way, if you've got a PDF guide, is in your delivery email when they opt in and at the end of the guide, you can take them to a new level. Maybe you have a 30-minute or 1-hour webinar that goes in further depth, indoctrinates them even more, creates even more of that know, like, and trust that you need for someone to buy from you. They go through that extra level, that bigger commitment training, and then you pitch it on the end of that. That works really well too. But you've got to put that first step in place, and you want to make sure that that lead magnet is quick, it's actionable, it gives them some clarity, it helps show them how they can solve the problem that they currently have, and it guides them to the next step in your funnel, which is the thing that you have available to solve the problem for them in exchange for their cold hard cash. So it's really that simple. When you're creating your lead magnet, you got to do it with the end in mind and be thinking about the product, the service, whatever it is that you provide, the thing that you sell that solves the problem. And then you want to create that piece of content, that lead magnet that they're going to get in exchange for their email that's going to begin to solve that problem, introduce you to them and your system to them. That way you can ultimately guide them to where they actually buy from you. And that's it. The show's over for the day. But please do me a favor. Take action on this. Take what you learned in today's show and go use it in your business. Go find that opt-in box on the homepage of your website that says, hey, join my newsletter, and create something else instead. Create a lead magnet that kind of lays out your core philosophies for whatever it is that you sell people or you teach people or that you help people with your blog, your content, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. It doesn't have to take you a lot of time. It's probably something that you can create today that you can get done, you can get up on your website, and I guarantee you that when you have a real lead magnet there, instead of a lame call to action to join your newsletter, you're going to see that your email subscriber count per day is going to increase without any increase in traffic. Then when you start running paid traffic to it, game changer. So once again, thank you so much for watching the Laptop Empire show. I really appreciate it. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss an episode of the show. And remember, we come at you new episodes every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Central, teaching you how to grow an online business from home. Thank you so much.